You know, usually YouTubers say that they didn't want to make this video but they had to, and etc. Well, I definitely didn't plan to make this video, however I wanted to. Why now? Because my friend did a video on this topic and got a backlash for literally nothing. And it just got me absolutely sick of all this. For people who came here from CGEs and other rumor channels, don't be afraid, I won't use any swear words or naughty words in this video even once. Even though in the last video where I talked about rumor stuff, I didn't use those words regardless, but either way I won't. So what's the context? Recently vidIQ released their new video called How to Make YouTube Your Full-Time Job as a Small Channel, and it's the most nothing thing I've ever watched. If they would have called it CG's biography, then nothing really changed, to be honest. So now I'm going to show the video, not fully obviously, I will speed up some sections, and try to make counterpoints as to why this video is bad. Don't worry, I won't cut good points or take words out of context. If you think I'm lying, then you can check out the full video in the description to waste your time. I think I have an independent thinking audience, so there shouldn't be a problem. If Canadian Guy Air or any rumor channel will eventually find this video, I highly recommend watching this video until the end, since I will try to explain things as understandable as possible. Alright, let's start the thing, am I right?
If you had 10,000 subscribers, no money, bills stacking up, and brand new real-life responsibilities rolling into your life, do you think that would be a good time to try going full-time on YouTube? Probably not, and we also wouldn't encourage you.
It's good they say that they don't encourage you to go all in on YouTube because indeed you can return with nothing. Let's not forget that, after all, everything is dancing around YouTube's random algorithms. Okay, let's speed up things a little bit.
The Canadian guy knew from a young age that
Wow,
he was passionate
animations.
in video
That's cool.
editing. His talents were recognized by his teachers at school, and he even went to college specifically for video editing, and that's where he met his wife.
And then before I even graduated, I got accepted at a local job to do animation editing. I felt like I was on cloud nine for a whole year. It was like, wow, you know, I graduated, I got my lifetime job, here we go. And then reality set in. A year later, I got laid off.
Okay, I'm a little bit confused to say the least. Like, yeah, in video editing you make editing, and usually videos end. Maybe it was a specific work or something, but I don't see a reason to be surprised. Maybe it's just me, after all I don't have a degree in animation video editing.
Real-world job instability is one of the big reasons why a lot of people look to carve out their own ways of making money and potentially become their own employers. That's why we always encourage creators who want to monetize their channels to start treating their channels like a business from day one.
You probably see where the problems start. Treating your channel like a clock-in, clock-out business is not really a good idea to begin with. If you do it solely for money, without any passion, you'll hate it. Let's keep in mind that YouTube is an entertainment platform at first. You mostly do videos for fun or because you like certain topics. Money is just a little pat on the head from YouTube for putting ads in your videos, which makes money for YouTube itself. Should I also mention that you need at least 1k subs and 4k watch hours to start gaining some money from YouTube. From that point, you're not really a small channel because you probably already have an established community who watch your videos constantly. In another case, you'll have to make content 24/7, which will lead you to be exhausted sooner or later. And because of the lack of new content, you'll probably just slowly start to lose views, lose the money, and you'll feel sad because you started to slowly lose views, therefore lose money because you treated your channel like a business, and etc. My counter advice for small creators is to do videos for passion and treat your channel like a hobby. You will soon enough find your niche and people who will like your content. Because at that point, your only payment for the work will be engagement with viewers. Okay, let's move on, shall we?
I had fiddled with YouTube for 7 years at this point with just my anime music videos, random gameplays, clips that I would play. It was a mess. It was an absolute mishmash of just garbage. That's the best way to describe it.
Yes, it's better to actually focus on something than throwing everything at once. It doesn't mean you have to pin yourself to one game or one video format, but it's better to have things organized. Things now are just fine at most, but that's where we reach the lost cause.
He had been posting videos without any specific focus or particular audience. So he sat down and realized this is probably about where I need to pick a niche. Now that niche was the comeback of a very nostalgic game, which was Crash Bandicoot. But instead of just focusing on one game, he ended up focusing on one audience because there was another game that not a lot of people were talking about, and that was Spyro, which has a very similar audience if you don't know anything about these games.
When you're tapping into this untapped potential, all this new content that no one's really talking about, but there are people interested, and that was the key, is that people are interested, but they don't know that they're interested yet. They were interested in Crash and Spyro, and they're on YouTube, and all of a sudden they get suggested Spyro the Dragon, and it triggers that nostalgia. But then you go through my videos, you're like, oh, he talks about Crash. I remember playing Crash too.
The audience he's focusing down on is very specific, but not too specific to where there's not still some potential, because hundreds of thousands of people have played these games. The videos Canadian guy wanted to make were really going to play into people's nostalgia for these old games that were being remade.
Please say that I'm not the only one who hears and thinks about it. Basically, the advice here is to trigger people's nostalgia for some specific franchise and tap this untapped potential. That's a really gross statement to say the least. See some small communities that don't have any sort of entertainment, then just start milking it. Seriously, I'm at loss for words right now. That people are still somehow defending not Canadian Guy S channel in particular, but these rumor channels in general. It's literally written with white ink on a black panel that you're being played on by nostalgia. It triggers you to be like, hey, I played this game in childhood. I should totally watch this video because it says that my favorite franchise might get a new installment. That's what it is. You don't watch any of these rumor channels for funny, entertaining, or interesting content. You just have that nostalgia mixed with a hope for a new game of your favorite franchise, and it's being used. I swear, if any of these channels stopped doing what they do, they would have lost their viewers. Alright, I will say everything when we get to the end.
So after figuring all this out, he posted this video, and then something happened that might feel awful.
I remember there was the moment that I knew that there was something there. I posted it, and at the end of the day, it had 12 views. And I remember being really depressed because I worked really hard on that video. I did research, I scripted, I edited, and I made sure I did everything that I could. It only got 12 views, and I was really like, that sucks, right? That feels bad.
I know there's probably so many of you out there that have experienced this. I have myself. You put in so much time into a video and then virtually nobody sees it.
I guess le funny happened. Yeah, first video or a new video on a completely unorganized channel usually underperforms. It might be sad, but it's not super unpredictable because of course people rather spend their free time with someone they know than watch a completely new video from an unknown channel.
I had another idea where it was like, why don't you maybe throw it on social media somewhere? And I didn't want to do Facebook. I wanted actual people that were interested. So I decided to go to ye old Reddit, and I found that there was a Spyro Reddit. And I thought, all right, I'll post a video there and leave it at that.
This is advice on the level of eat food to not die of hunger. That's a fundamental thing of being on internet. It's useful advice in general, but it's very surface level, and usually regular channels won't really go deep into improving their channel's performance. And for those channels who already got started and know a little bit how to promote, aka going to other platforms and just sending a link of your video, this advice is pretty much nothing.
It's a good thing you did, because after a few days, the video got over 1,000 views and comments and engagement were starting to come in. Even cooler than that, this experience had attracted 2 other creators, also kind of smaller channels, who were also interested in Crash Bandicoot and Spyro. The 3 creators began chatting, and they started to trade information about the potential return of Spyro, which is something they were all kind of curious about and thinking this could happen one day. The 3 of them all went to different socials and started posting their content and kept trying to build that hype. Not only did this experience indeed build the hype, but it also built a community.
Hype going up. Remember the time when the hype was built up for a new Sly Cooper game? Yeah, that just happened. The fact that the original developers of the game had to make an official announcement regarding those rumors saying that Sly Cooper 5 isn't real at the moment is just wow. What happened then? The community split. Some people thought that was the end of fan base, and others just had a side of relief, which still causes some conflicts here. Such a solid community, am I right, guys? I know someone's gonna cut that out of context, thinking I'm saying this to discredit Canadian guy Air when he was talking about his channel's community.
And building that really solid community of people who are all kind of thinking the same thing is super important for going full-time on YouTube.
But this still doesn't really make my point invalid, which we're gonna discuss later.
At this stage of the journey has 5,000 subscribers. And if you remember, he was laid off, so all this is going on, actually had a job. But one day, at around 5,000 subscribers, he gets that call to come back to work. However, he had learned from his mistakes the last time, and while he had this job and was putting in the hours at work, he still found time to keep building up his presence on YouTube. So this is all going on for a while, and one day he wakes up because his phone is just exploding. It turns out all of this hype that he and other creators were trying to build around the potential return of Spyro had come true because details leaked about a new Spyro game. And while that alone, as a fan of the game, was exciting in itself, something else really awesome happened.
What had happened was that my channel was already established in the keywords Spyro Remastered and Spyro Remaster. So when that trailer dropped and people were looking for information, the first channel that was coming up was mine.
The seeds he had sown were starting to sprout. His older content was now ranking in search because of this new trend.
So the game is real. Wow. It reminds me of one saying that people aren't predicting things. They just say a bunch of stuff, and when one of them comes true, people start to believe everything they say. So CGA started doing rumor content, blah blah blah, and then eventually it came true. Nice luck, I guess? I don't know what lesson I should take from that. What if my content isn't based on rumor videos? Lost cause?
He knew that this was something he had to leverage right now. So the goal, make as much content as possible. The problem? He has a full-time job and a family to support. With his work schedule keeping him from making a proper video, he decided to pivot a little bit.
So I did a live stream reporting on it live. And I remember as I was talking about it, the viewers started at like 27 and then 30, 40, 50, 100, 200, 300, 500 people were watching.
He adapted and he tried making a new style of content he wasn't used to making. That decision, though, meant that he was one of the first creators to start reporting on this news in real time. This live stream introduces him to a whole new audience and a new revenue stream because when you're live, you can get things like super chats. And this is a topic where it's really easy to make a lot of content because he was super passionate about these games. And before he knew it, he had hit 10,000 subscribers.
Now we're at 10k subscribers, and it reminds me of one meme. First, make a bunch of rumor videos. Second, one of the rumors comes true. 3. 4. Profit. I'm mad not because the advice is bad, but because there's literally no advice at all. It's just CGI's biography wrapped into advices for making small channel as a full-time job. If they named this video how Canadian guy Air found success, then fine, whatever. But it's not. You're literally telling people to find communities full of untapped potential and play into people's nostalgia. That's dishonorable. Oh, and by the way, super chats aren't available for people below 1k subs. I don't know why they didn't say that in the video, it just feels like they think YouTube pays money to literally anyone who makes videos.
So things are great. He's got a job, his wife's pregnant, and they just moved into a larger place. But then real life strikes again. Canadian guy gets laid off from his job a second time with a baby due in just 2 days. So no job and now no money because they had just spent everything moving into this new place. And if all of that wasn't bad enough, one day out for a drive, their car gets totaled. I honestly don't think there's a movie written in such a way where the main character has like all of these struggles pile on all at once. The audience would just walk out because it wouldn't be seen as realistic.
we hit a fight or flight situation where we're like, doom was very much looming. We felt very much like, this is it. This is like, we're done. We're toasted. My wife said, what about YouTube? And I said, you think we can do it? We only have 10,000 subscribers. I've never heard of that before, where they can say, yeah, I can pay my bills with 10,000 subs.
So basically bad things happened once again, and that's where they decided to go all in on YouTube channel with 10k subs. Yet again, it's just CGE's YouTube biography, so nothing interesting. It would have been relatable if it was, indeed, a CGE's biography, but it's a video about small channels. What should I take from that part of the video? Everyone has their life problems. Do I feel bad about this? Yes. But what do you want me to do about it? It feels so forced in this type of video about advices for small channels.
Despite everything going on, Canadian guy stuck with it. He doubled down what was already working, and he took time to experiment with new types of content that he felt like his audience might enjoy. Today, he has over 70,000 subscribers, with YouTube remaining his primary source of income.
Is this a money laundering scheme?
If you look at his channel, it's clear to see that once Canadian guy started to take his content really seriously, he didn't stop doing that. He didn't deviate and he didn't mess around. I thought you guys would find it pretty cool that this level of independence could be achieved with only 10,000 subscribers. It goes to show that if you can take YouTube seriously and follow your passions, build a real community, you don't have to wait till 100,000 subscribers before giving this your full attention.
Yeah, why would I wait for 100,000 subs? I'll wait for a million instead. No, seriously, treating a channel with 10k subs as small is such a weird thing to say.
But listen, it's still not going to be easy. YouTube takes a lot of time to achieve real growth. And that's why we made this video right here. Let's see if we can get you past that hurdle and maybe get you your first 10,000 subscribers.
Wow, finally, a good piece of advice. YouTube takes a lot of time to grow. And that's how the video ends. So what did we learn today, kids? We learned that you should play on people's nostalgia and take advantage of the specific community's untapped potential and build up the hype for the potential games. Let's end with this video's topic, because it's literally the most nothing thing ever produced. Instead, we will talk about Sly Cooper and rumor channels in particular. As I said before and still say, those rumor channels are just milking the fanbase, and this video just proves my point by literally saying,
the videos Canadian guy wanted to make were really going to play into people's nostalgia for these old games that were being remade.
You're just being manipulated by your hope for the new games. Literally. The Sly Cooper fanbase was being milked because it was profitable at the time to make up unrealistic expectations about Sly 5, so people would blindly follow you because of the nostalgia. The rumor situation was so absurd it caused an official developer of Sly Cooper to make a statement that, hey guys, the Sly 5 game isn't real. Even then, Canadian Guy Air would rather suggest multiple times that Sucker Punch were lying, and people started spamming Sucker Punch and PlayStation support. I don't say that these tweets weren't actually made intentionally, and that he wasn't aware of what he was saying. It's not just one-liner tweet that you could throw in and forget about it. That's 3 whole tweets with polls, screenshots, and etc. The excuses, I was doing it to keep the hope in the community, or I haven't said this is 100% true, are so childish. It makes them look unconfident in their own actions. If you really want to keep hope alive in the Sly community, why won't you talk about this franchise now? Literally, when it started to become obvious that there is no Sly Cooper 5, you'll just stop talking about Sly in general. You don't promote artists or other content creators who really are keeping the hope of the community through actions, and not just by flashy words. None of you supported the fan-made project Sly Cooper Rise of the Legendary Thief. Moreover, some of you were hating on this project because it doesn't look official enough to you. So much for the dying community, am I right guys? I'm just so sick of rumor channels being some kind of untouchable saints just because they display themselves as good guys who won't even swear. What's funny is they will ignore every argument you have, regardless of whether you're swearing or not. If you didn't swear and were polite, then how are they gonna display you as a bad guy? They will just ignore or block you without giving any retorts. If you swear even once, or worse, call them a naughty word, they will rise up from the dead and start to defend their pride and ego as much as possible, backing it up with, but what if kids are watching us? Now you might ask, why does this matter so much anyways? because it holds down so many people from doing good stuff, because of how ignoring this community might be sometimes, as it won't be as appealing as Sly 5. And yes, I say that you mostly do things because it's a hobby and you have a passion for that. But as a community, we should support those people who put their blood, sweat and time into things they love. They do it for free for everyone, receiving nothing but a positive reaction from the same fans as them. Please, Sly fans, it's time to open your eyes. You've been used and then thrown into a can, yet you still defend those people. There might not be a Sly 5, but there is so much more to look at instead, and you are the one who chooses it. Make the right decision, and do not let this community die. As for the Canadian Ray Air and other rumor channels, if you want to have a discussion, we can make a live stream or just talk about things in private messages. I know that this video will most likely be bombarded with dislikes, and the rumor channels probably ignore or block me. But at least I'm not afraid to speak up on topics I want to talk about. And that's what you all should do. Do not let someone silence you for fighting for what you value the most. Anyway, that was all for the video. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye.